ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ चन्द्रोद्भासितशेखरे स्मरहरे गङ्गाधरे शङ्करे सर्पैर्भूषितकण्ठकर्णविवरे नेत्रोत्थवैश्वानरे दन्तित्वक्कृतसुन्दराम्बरधरे त्रैलोक्यसारे हरे मोक्षार्थं कुरु चित्तवृत्तिमखिलाम् अन्यैस्तु किं कर्मभिः। ॐ श्री तपोवनपरं गुरवे नमः। ॐ श्री शिवानन्दपरं गुरवे नमः। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम, salutations to all. Welcome to Chandrashekhara Dhyanam in this auspicious month of Shravan. It is a month which is very dear to Bhagwan Shiva, and especially Somvars are much more dearer. And in the Shravan Mahatmyam, Bhagwan himself says that one who worships me on the Mondays of the Shravan month gets the result of worshipping me on Mondays of the whole year. So, worship happens in different ways. One is when we do a puja, when we do specifically Abhishek of Bhagwan Shiva through the Shivalinga. Another is when we do japa, chant the name of Bhagwan with bhav, with devotion, with bhakti. And third is when we do dhyan, where we contemplate on the nature of Bhagwan, Sagun Sakar as well as Nirgun Nirakar Rupa Bhagwan. Each form of worship is subtler than the other, and each form of worship by itself also is capable of making one realize the absolute truth. And so today onwards, we are going to do the Dhyanam, Chandrashekhara Dhyanam. When we think of Bhagwan Shiva, various qualities are associated with Bhagwan. And the principle in Upasana is Upasana literally means to sit near, Upa-asana. So to sit near, in this context, it is not just the physical proximity, it is mental proximity. To sit near Bhagwan is to imbibe the qualities of Bhagwan. What I think about consistently, what I think about intensely, those thoughts, those qualities, those emotions, values, I will internalize. And so consistently when a sadhak, when an upasak is worshipping the upasya, the qualities of the upasya, the meditated, will come into the meditator. And hence, in upasana, when we understand this siddhant, a person will transform, metamorphosis will happen of that person when the old ways of living are replaced by the higher values of life, by the deeper understanding of what is the nature of Bhagwan and what is my nature, how we are essentially one. So when we think of Bhagwan Shiva, Bhagwan is Ananta, there is no doubt. There is one infinite consciousness alone, which is the truth, which is changeless, birthless, deathless, attributeless, and which essentially Advaita Vedanta says is our nature. So Bhagavan Shiva also is that infinite consciousness, Satchidananda Swarupa. And that same Satchidananda Swarupa, which is Brahman, which is infinite consciousness, using its power of Maya, becomes Ishvara, the creator, sustainer, destroyer. So it is called Sopadhika Brahma, with upadhis, with the attributes, especially the Maya. So using that, he becomes the creator, sustainer, and destroyer, and then also has a form. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Each is in charge of one aspect of creation. But each one also is they appear as three, but they are not three actually. They are one only, performing different functions. So we see them differently, but they are one. And hence, Shiva, when we say Shiva literally is auspicious, most auspicious, by whose very presence this which is Shava, which is inert, becomes sentient. In this entire universe we find which is made up of five elements. Five elements are Jada Vastu, they are inert. But we still see so much of sentiency, life, growth, response, so many things which happen. The touch of life is consciousness expressing through the subtle body. And so then we see so much of interaction that happens. One who lends that by its very presence, everything is enlivened, that is Shiva, most auspicious. So, first quality associated with Bhagavan Shiva is auspiciousness. And Shiva literally means that which is uh, Kalyanakari, that which is the well-being of all, that is which is for the good of everybody, that state. And so when a seeker meditates on Bhagavan Shiva, Bhagavan Shiva is most auspicious, Bhagavan Shiva is most compassionate, loving, equanimous, various attributes engaged in contemplation, balanced in the pairs of opposites. And one of the most striking features of Bhagavan Shiva is fearlessness. Auspiciousness and fearlessness, they go together. See, if we see the meaning of the word Shiva, general meaning we just discussed is very auspicious. But in the Shiva Puran, there are lovely qualities mentioned of Bhagavan Shiva. सर्वज्ञता तृप्तिरनादिबोधः स्वतंत्रता नित्यम अलुप्त शक्ति अनंत शक्तिश्च विभोर्विधिज्ञाः षडाहुरंगानि महेश्वरस्य. The Supreme Lord Maheshwara, Shiva, is omniscient, Sarvagnya, Triptihi, very peaceful, contented, Anadibodhaha, beginningless, whose knowledge is, meaning who is of the nature of beginningless consciousness. Nityam alupta shaktihi, swatantrata, sorry, before that, is independent. There is no dependency in Bhagavan's life. Nityam alupta shaktihi, who is eternally there and whose power never diminishes. Ananta shaktischa, and whose power is not only undiminishing, it is infinite power. Vibho, who is all pervasive. Vidhignaha, those who are uh, knowers of the Veda, Vidhignaha, they declare that these are the great qualities of Bhagavan Shiva. Now, if you see each of these, they will indicate the state of happiness, the state of fearlessness. Bhagavan Shiva is associated with dispassion. Again, that leads to fearlessness and happiness. And absence of these qualities is the cause of sorrow. If you think about it, Sarvajnata, when I don't know who am I, when I feel I am Alpagnya, I am a Jiva, I have limited knowledge, that ignorance of the self is the cause of sorrow. Triptihi, if we don't have tripti in our life, we are not happy, we are not peaceful. Continuously, I need something or the other. And even after getting what I want, mind is still not happy. There's still emptiness. Contentment is not there. Contentment of the mind is one thing, contentment of the self is another. Contentment of the mind will lead to contentment of the self. But when tripti is not there, no matter how much one achieves, one still feels lesser, empty, inadequate. Bhagavan Shiva is peaceful, content, doesn't have any big, huge mansion and comfort and conveniences. Even if he wants, he can always have, but chooses to live in inner contentment. Tripti, anadi bodha, knowledge. When we have knowledge, we are strong, we are anchored. We talk about self knowledge here. Even material knowledge is always helpful, very important, transforms the person. And so, each of these, Swatantrata, when I have dependence, attachment, psychological bondage, that is, then that will again bring sorrow. Sarvam paravasham dukkham atmavasham eva sukham. All dependency in any form is sorrow. Psychological dependency, what we speak about. Functional dependency, one can't avoid, and that is not a cause of sorrow. But psychological, where we say, without this, I can't be happy. Without this object, without this person, without this type of a situation, my happiness depends on this. That is the cause of sorrow. Then he says here, Nityam alupta shakti. Power is infinite and Bhagavan's power never diminishes. How much insecurity is there in our mind where one holds on to power and derives one's security from there, one's self-worth also from there, and from what people talk about me when I have power, how I am perceived. Bhagavan is free from that. Alupta Shakti, Ananta Shakti, and all pervasive, not limited by one body, one form. Though Bhagavan has a form, but all pervasive consciousness. All these lead to the state of happiness and fearlessness. So if we see the form of Bhagavan Shiva, literally, if we see there are so many things which are associated with fear and especially with death. And yet Bhagavan is the embodiment of fearlessness. How? See, if we see the form, the snake, symbol of death, poison in the neck, symbol of death. Bhagavan wears mundamala, symbol of death. Bhasma he has applied is not some vibhuti that we use sometimes, which is scented and all that. It is ash from the cremation ground. And sometimes it is ash which is from the Havan Kund, when the cow dung has been burnt. So many things like that. Tiger skin he wears. Again, tiger associated with death, with fear. Whole form, if we see, it can be terrifying to somebody if one analyzes each of these things. Each of them are associated with death, but Bhagavan Shiva sits amidst all of them without any fear. He is embodiment of fearlessness. And that is what we need in life. We need to be free from fear. Bhaya and Shoka, these two, one has to be free from these two. As long as there is ignorance of the truth, there will be delusion, and as long as there is delusion, there will be fear and sorrow. So if I want to be free from fear and sorrow, I should be free from delusion. And if I want to be free from delusion, I need knowledge of the self. Then that ignorance will go. So the dhyanam is to discover that state of knowledge. Why do we say we should be free from fear and sorrow? Because fear is that which debilitates the whole personality. Once fear arises in the mind, body will become sometimes incapable of acting, sometimes people are stunned, they become numb. So body becomes incapacitated, mind is overwhelmed with fear, and this intellect loses its clarity. So what one should do, what one should not do gets muddled up. One will start taking wrong decisions. One doesn't take certain risks because of fear. One doesn't go out of comfort zone because one is scared of discomfort. And if one can't go out of comfort zone, one can't grow. Fear is such a thing that will not allow our potential to manifest. It is dying every minute. That's why it is said, I think Shakespeare said it, that heroes die but once, cowards die every moment. Because the fear itself will make a person feel lesser about oneself. When there is a fear, that fear grows. The more I run away from that fear, the more that fear grows, my confidence will go down. My self-worth in my own eyes, self-esteem will go down. So fear is that which one has to overcome. One cannot let the fear be there and escape from it. One has to identify these are my fears and I need to get out of these fears. Even one fear, if we get out of, so much of strength one experiences, freedom one experiences, relief one experiences, ki that fear I am out of. Even simple things, when we say, people have fear of water and one is scared. When one faces that fear, learns the swimming, overcomes that fear, so much happiness. Just one fear we are talking. Like that, so many different types of fear. Human life is filled with fear. In the Atmabodh, Shankaracharya says, Jivam Gnatva Bhayam Vahet. The moment one thinks I am this Jiva, one is carrying the burden of fear. Jivam Gnatva Bhayam Vahet. Biological fear, fear of getting hurt, fear of accidents, fear of death, fear of animals, so many, different types of fears. But biological level, where the fear is of the body getting sickness, disease, catching an infection, so many of these fears. One has to be cautious in life, no doubt, because there are challenges that do come. One can be prepared, one can, equip oneself, empower oneself. All that is not denied. But if one lives in fear, if one constantly thinking something will happen, something will happen, something will happen, and one doesn't go out or one doesn't interact properly, freely, what will one do? That whole fear is eating up the person. Psychological fear, it's the emotional fear, fear of losing somebody, fear of not, getting the desire fulfilled, fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of what people will say, intellectual fears, fear of people not supporting my ideology, or people criticizing me, people accusing me, you know, if I start up something, it may not take off properly, people may ridicule me. So many types of fear. If I take a decision and if it goes wrong, so people are not taking decisions also. So when one thinks that way, so many different types of fears at different levels. Spiritual fear also. One fears Bhagwan himself. At one level, yes, that there is a supreme power and one should walk the path of dharma. Otherwise, Bhagwan is there to do nyaya and each one will get their karma phala. So if that fear in a way protects that person, it is all right at one level, but one can't grow up with that and live with that fear alone. In fact, that is not our Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma doesn't teach us to be scared of God. That's a Abrahamic idea, by the way. Nowhere does Bhagwan, even if he comes in a Rudra Rupa or even if he is angry, the purpose is never to create fear in the minds of people. If you do adharma, then there will be consequence and that you will pay for it. And based on that, sometimes the karma phala can bring sorrow. But the nature of Bhagwan depicted is always compassionate, unconditionally loving. So there's no need to be scared of Bhagwan. One has to love the Lord, one has to know about Bhagwan, one has to serve Bhagwan, and one will realize oneness with the divine. So spiritual fears also. Sometimes people say fear of unknown, fear of God. So our life, if you see, social fears are there of getting isolated, getting rejected, of all kinds of groupisms. Then I need to fit in. So even though I am not in a particular way, this is not my temperament, but I need to fit in. So then I will do something which is my paradharma. Then I will try and fit in because I don't want to be perceived in a particular way. So all these social fears, financial fears, human life is filled with so many fears. One who says that I want to be free, whom will one meditate upon? The one who is a symbol of fearlessness and who grants fearlessness to all. In fact, that is the promise of Bhagwan. In Ramayana, when Vibhishan surrenders to Bhagwan Ram, there's a beautiful shloka there where Bhagwan says that uh, Sakrit eva prapannaya, once alone, if a devotee surrenders and says, Tava asmi iti cha yachate, that, oh Lord, I am yours, means I have come to you, I take your refuge, I surrender to you completely. Bhagwan says, Abhayam sarva bhutebhya, I will grant fearlessness to that jiva from all the beings, from everything. Dadami etad vratam mama, this is my vrat. Bhagwan has taken a vrat, meaning this is his promise. And Bhagwan keeps up his promise. The jiva has to surrender once, wholeheartedly, and say, Bhagwan, I am yours. Bas. Bhagwan grants fearlessness to that jiva. And you see examples. Vibhishanji surrendered once, Arjun surrendered once, Hanumanji surrendered once. So, countless examples you will find. Yet we keep surrendering again and again. We go to the temple or we go to our puja room, we remember Bhagwan, we surrender, we bow down, we prostrate, so that our ego doesn't rise. Ideally, what is necessary, Bhagwan doesn't require. He requires wholehearted surrender once. Many times we are not able to surrender wholeheartedly. We surrender conditionally. That also is all right for Bhagwan. Arjun surrendered conditionally. He said, I am your Shishya, you please guide me, instruct me, but I will not fight. Shishyasteyam shadhimam tvam prapannam, he said. Seventh verse in the second chapter. And after that, 10th verse is concluding saying, Nayot Chaiti Govinda Muktva Tushnim Babhuva. Sat down saying, I won't fight. If you instruct me, you tell me what is right, what is wrong, but I will not fight. It's all right. Bhagwan says, good beginning point for me. I will start. At least he has surrendered this much. And then gave the whole knowledge. And by the end of the whole Gita, Arjun says, Nashto moha smritir labdha karishye vachanam tava. I have got the knowledge, my delusion is destroyed, and I will do what you have said. There the surrender has become complete. So Bhagwan only will make us surrender also and make our surrender complete also. Just that we have to be available. That's all. So this Chandrashekhara Ashtakam is a beautiful composition of sage Markandeya. And the purpose of this is to become free from all fears. If you analyze fear, it comes because of, as we said, ignorance. I don't know who am I. So I think I am the body, mind, intellect. I feel I am limited and this is perishable. And I am attached to this. My identity comes from this. I am this person, this body, this jiva. And I don't know who am I in my true nature is imperishable. Absolute truth is my true nature as consciousness. That I forgot and I don't know. And identifying with this, our Puja Gurudev used to say, non-apprehension leads to misapprehension. When I don't know the truth, then I identify as the BMI, body, mind, intellect. So when that false identification is there, then I will cling to this. And of all fears, the greatest fear is the fear of death. Why? Because I will lose everything, is what the perception is. All people will be taken away from me. I will be separated from them. Things I have acquired, I will not have. And I will be alone. I don't know what will happen. Is there life after death? And, one has to go into some Preta Sharir and one has to go to some heaven, hell exists, doesn't exist. So much confusion. And one lives in fear. So if you analyze fear, it comes because of ignorance, it comes because of attachment, it comes when there is adharma we have done in life, when I have not done my duties. All these are different causes of fear. And fear is there because there is loss and pain that I don't want. All fears you can boil down only to these two: fear of pain, fear of loss. Physical fear also, if we see, is physical fear is fear of pain, as well as losing my sense of, health, strength, all that. So fear of loss, fear of pain. Any emotional fear also, if you take the fear of rejection, suppose, then there is a loss of image. I have a certain image about myself and that is rejected. If I give an idea, that is rejected. Now I feel lesser. And when I feel that way, there is loss, then there will be pain. So fear of loss, fear of pain. And in that, the greatest loss one feels is the loss of this whole identity, as though by death one feels is complete annihilation. So one runs away from death. If you see in the direction, the deities of directions, south is the direction of Yama, north is the direction of Bhagwan Shiva, knowledge. And the Jiva runs away from fear towards knowledge, towards Bhagwan Shiva. Kailas also is in north. So when we understand this, that fear of loss, fear of pain, we don't want loss, we don't want pain, and that's why we want to escape from all that which can cause loss and pain to us. So general response to fear will be forget everything and run. Don't face that fear. Leave the fear, escape from it, or just ignore it. You know, the example given here is of a cat which is there, which will attack the pigeon. Now the pigeon is too terrified to fly from there, it will not fly. And it is scared. Now what to do? Close the eye and just think that that cat will go away. Cat will not go away. You close the eyes, it will attack and finish you. Fear is also like that. More we run, more it grows. So Vedant says, face everything and respond. Don't run away from fear. Face it. Then only one will become fearless. If I can't face it, I will not be able to overcome it. In psychology, they say if you can feel it, you can heal it. If I'm in a denial mode, I don't have any fear, Swamiji. My life is fearless only. Nothing. Oh, what fear? One can boast about it, one can deny it, but fear is there in the heart. Until there is Atmajnan, there is nobody else who is fearless. A Jivan Mukta who has realized absolute truth alone is truly fearless. And somebody who has deep level of dispassion, no attachment to anything, again that person is fearless. If I have any one attachment also, to that extent I will have fear. So there is no point in being denial mode. Better it is to identify, okay, these are the fears in my mind, I need to overcome. This whole month one can take up that sadhana, saying, okay, identify just one fear and say, okay, and think how this fear operates in my life, how this fear debilitates me, what does this fear do to me, how it may be even leading me to avoidance, how it prevents my potential from manifesting, why is it a cause of sorrow. If I analyze that, then second, do I want to come out of that fear? Many people don't want to come out of their fear. They are scared of coming out of fear also. If I want to come out of that fear, then I have to face it. And certain times it is by facing, by gaining the knowledge and doing the practice, then the fear will go. Abhyas has to be done. Suppose that example of swimming I said, then I have to learn swimming. So I need to get the knowledge, right knowledge. A person has to teach me the right technique, breathing and the stroke and the coordination of the hand and the neck and the feet and the core, all this. One has to learn and then practice. Then that fear one will overcome. So one fear one can identify and work on that, facing that fear, gaining knowledge, doing the practice. This Chandrashekhara Ashtakam is a composition of sage Markandeya in this context of fearlessness. Because the greatest fear is a fear of death, and he didn't run away from it, he faced it. The story, popular story, today I will tell you that, and then we will meditate for a short while. And it is very interesting. I was doing research on this background of sage Markandeya and Chandrashekhara Ashtakam. Different Puranas are having different versions of the story. Basic principle of fearlessness is common. But the way the things are narrated and how it has happened is different in different Puranas. Bhagavad Purana gives it differently. Padma Puran gives it differently. Narad Puran gives it differently. Mahabharat gives it differently. Some some details are common, like he is the son of sage Mrikandu. That is common. Marudvati and Mrikandu. He is the son of these two. But the way in which it is narrated. So each day we will take up a little one from one Purana, the story aspect, and derive our learnings and then contemplate. So today we will see this version. This is a popular version that people come know generally, and that is there in the Bhagavatam also. Sage Mrikandu and Marudvati, very devout couple, and worship Bhagwan sincerely, and they don't have a child, and they are praying sincerely that we want a progeny. And Bhagwan Shiva gives them a choice that you can have a son who is not very bright, who is a simpleton, who will live a long life, who can even be foolish many times in life. That is one option. Second option, you will have a child who is brilliant, who is extremely knowledgeable, devoted, and his life will be only 16 years. And both of them choose the second option. So in time, Markandeya is born. Because the son of Mrikandu Rishi is called Markandeya. He is named also like that by the parents. So he is growing up and brilliant as Shivji had promised. Daily he worships Bhagwan, studies the Veda, lives the higher values of life that the Veda is teaching, and very loving, compassionate, doing duties towards the parents. Very obedient child as well as independent thinker. Is growing up very well. Now he has entered his teenage, and even in that teenage where people will go through hormonal fluctuations, emotional disturbances, challenges, identity crisis, many things one goes through. This child is anchored, rooted, knows very clearly what is his culture, where does he belong to, what are his roots, and very, as a young person looking forward to life, wants to explore all these brilliant qualities. Now he enters 16th year, and when he enters that 16th year, he sees. See, through his life also he has been seeing that now and then the parents become very sad. So when the 16th year happens, he enters 16th year, then there is much more grief that he sees in their life. So he finally asks them that what is the reason? You tell me what is that which is troubling you. Why are you feeling sad? Have I done something which is upsetting you? Then they tell him the truth. Okay, your life is only for 16 years and this is your 16th year. When he hears that, he doesn't get sad, he doesn't feel fear, he doesn't want to escape from any of this. Imagine, in one way, it is good to know when the time of death is. Otherwise, there's uncertainty. One doesn't know. Any moment can be last moment. Now, at least one knows that 16th year, when it ends, that is my time. So one can plan. What does he do? What he has been doing See, it is not that when he came to know of his 16th year is the last year, then he started worshipping Bhagwan Shiva. He has been worshipping Bhagwan Shiva. And he continues to worship. It is not that, at least that is not described. We may have done it also. It's not that suddenly he has increased, now I will worship Bhagwan more and I will ask Bhagwan to liberate me from death. I should not die. I don't want to face death. I don't want to die. I don't want to be separated from my parents. None of that. On the appointed day, when that 16th year is getting over, he is doing his regular thing. He is doing his puja, worshipping the Supreme Lord. Shivlinga he has created. So he's some Puranas they have mentioned that he created a Parthiva Linga, linga made from the earth, and he was worshipping that Parthiva Linga. The Yamadutas they came, but they couldn't take him away because his devotion is such that they found that they are incompetent to take his jiva. I mean, take the jiva away. So Yamaraj himself comes. When Yamaraj himself comes there, what has Markandeya done? He has held on to Shivlinga and he is worshipping Bhagwan and he says, I and Bhagwan, nobody can separate me from Bhagwan. He is holding. He is not scared that Yamaraj has now come and I should do something to escape death. Nor is he praying to Bhagwan for him to escape death. What is he praying? Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara Pahimam, Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara Rakshama. What is that Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara Pahimam? See, some places it is said that he chants the Mrityunjay mantra. And with that he has been worshipping Bhagwan. Some places it is said that he just held on to the linga and he is intensely thinking of Bhagwan Chandrashekhara and seeking his protection, which is why those two, the lines come in the beginning of Chandrashekhara Ashtakam. Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara Pahimam, Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara Rakshamam. Interesting it is. He remembers 3 times Bhagwan in each line. He doesn't say Chandrashekhara Rakshamam, 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 Pahimam, Pahimam, Pahimam. Like how we say Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti 3 times. Because we seek peace from cosmic forces, from the beings around us, from subjective disturbances. He could have also said Chandrashekhara Pahimam, 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 Rakshamam, Rakshamam, Rakshamam. But focus is on Bhagwan, not on this alone. So he remembers Bhagwan, Chandrashekhara, 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 Pahimam. Pahi means means to protect. Pahi. And Raksha also means to protect. So why is it? Is there any difference? In one way, there are 2 different words for the same thing. One is seeking Bhagwan's protection. But there is a little subtle difference. When one says Pahimam, it is I am taking your refuge and I am under your protective care. That is Pahimam. Rakshamam is between me and what is a dangerous thing, what is a danger to me. You are there to protect me against that dangerous thing. So you please protect me, Rakshamam. Pahimam is I am under your protective care, guidance. Like, sometimes it will happen, right? Suppose we give that example that, the kangaroo which is there, the baby, if it feels the threat, it will quickly hop and come and jump into the bag. And now from that bag, this baby is now seeing, because that baby is under the protection of that mother. That is one example. In the same one, suppose we say that the baby is not able to come in that way, that mother will come between that baby and that threat and defend the baby. That is Rakshamam. So Pahimam is protective care. Rakshamam is please defend me and protect me from the threat. Hence these two. Chandrashekhara, 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 Pahimam. Chandrashekhara, 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 Rakshamam. 3 times he says Chandrashekhara. Bhagwan, he remembers. Who is Chandrashekhara? So Bhagwan Chandrashekhara is again Shivji, who has a Chandra on his crown, on his jata. Bhagwan doesn't have like a golden crown, but he has a jata. On that jata is a moon. So what is the symbol there? You know, Chandra word comes from Chand. Chand means to delight, to make someone happy. And so Chandrashekhara, he remembers Chandrashekhara. That's why I'm saying the choice of words and the feeling that he had is so amazing. He is remembering Bhagwan in the Saumya Rupa. That, oh, Chandrasekhar, he did not invoke Bhagwan as Mrityunjaya, Rudra, doing Tandava, and as a destroyer, Tripurantaka. He is not praying to Bhagwan ki you destroy this Yamraj. I don't want to die. He is just saying, Bhagwan, you are Chandrasekhara. You protect me and you defend me. That's all. So he is remembering the Supreme, and this word Chandrasekhara means that. The beautiful meaning of that Chandra word is that which delights, and that's why when we see the moon is associated with delight, with love, with happiness. And so that is this Chand, to gladden, to delight. And Shekhara is the crown, the jata. One on whose jata is this moon. So what is this moon? Moon is symbolic of the mind. And the moon that is there on Bhagwan's jata is the crescent moon. It is the moon of Chaturthi. That has symbolism that we will see tomorrow. At the moment, just moon and mind. In Vedanta, we also say Manaso Devata Chandramaha. Moon is a presiding deity of the mind. So we should remember that the moon, when we are referring to, it is not just that physical moon, it is the Devata also, Chandra Devata. And that Chandra Devata is the presiding deity of the mind. So this moon is symbolic of the mind, and that waxing and waning is not there in that moon. The moon which is on the jata of Bhagavan Shiva will always be the same Chaturthika moon. It will not become, it won't become, the Ardha Chandra, Purna Chandra. It will remain the same. Meaning, simple meaning of that is mind which is very steady, contemplative. Doesn't go through ups and downs and, waxing and waning, and steady. That mind has become purified, single pointed. Such a mind has become the ornament of Bhagavan. Stories associated with this we will see as we go along. But the moon is very, in Vedanta we understand moon also as ourselves, our mind, that if our mind becomes steady, our mind becomes free from these extremes, fluctuations, then we discover Shiva Tattva in us. So, this Lord of the Moon, meaning the Lord of the mind, and that mind which has fear is that mind which will not be able to discover the Absolute. The one who has mastered the mind, one who has discovered the state beyond the mind. So, in Yoga Shastra, it is called Unmani Avastha, the state beyond the mind is the state of infinite consciousness. So Chandrashekhara is literally that which is infinite consciousness, which is imperishable, and which is realized with that moon, with the mind which is like that moon, steady, not fluctuating, pure and a steady mind. So that Lord who has mastered the mind, who is beyond the mind, who is infinite, who is beyond death, holding that Shivalinga, Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara Pahimam. So when he has held the Shivalinga, this Yamraj, he throws the noose, and the noose falls on the Shivalinga as well as Markandeya because he is holding that linga. And Yamraj pulls because that is the depiction given that Yamraj comes and with his noose he pulls the Jiva out, and then Jiva gets appropriate karma phala, goes to various lokas and all that. But when he pulls here, suddenly from that linga, Bhagwan Shiva manifests, Chandrashekhara manifests, and gives one kick to Yamraj. In fact, if you read some of the Puranic descriptions, it will be said that Bhagwan Shiva killed Yamraj. That's why he got the name Kalantaka, Kala Kala. So different names Bhagwan has. Mrityunjaya, Yama is called Mrityu. He who has destroyed Mrityu. Then, of course, Devatas pray to him and he revives Yamraj in that context where they say he killed. In other Puranas, it will be he has kicked Yamraj. So Yamraj apparently asked that what have I done, Bhagwan? I am doing my duty. You have only given me this duty. I have to take the people out. The jivas have to get their karma phala. The prarabdha is over. The body will drop and then accordingly they will go ahead. So what wrong did I do? There Bhagwan Shiva tells him that yes, no doubt you are doing your duty and you have done what needs to be done, but you have to be careful. If a jiva has taken my refuge, that jiva is under my protection, and here the noose that you had put has fallen on the Shivalinga and you are pulling it. So the jiva who is under my protection should not be affected by you. And you have to be careful because I am indestructible, imperishable. You are trying to pull me out of that with that jiva. Meaning, what Bhagavan meant to say was that the regular laws of karma and prarabdha, dropping the body, will apply to a normal jiva. But if a jiva has taken my refuge, then these laws may not apply. The idea is not that a person will not die. The idea is to encourage a jiva to take refuge of Bhagavan, to be free from fear. If I can face fear, especially this death, with this loving remembrance of Bhagavan, instead of being scared of it, instead of imagining, instead of running away from it, instead of trying to, psych oneself up, not required. Remember Bhagavan, take refuge of Bhagavan. And if the body has to drop, body will anyway drop at that time, but I would remember Bhagavan and go, which is why Gita Bhagavan says, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaprayati tyajan deham yati nastyatra samshaya. That person will become one with me, who remembers me at the moment of death. To remember Bhagwan at that moment of death, one should have remembered through the life, and that bond has to be built. So this episode of Chandrashekhara Rakshamam Pahimam is the significance is of surrender and of bhakti and of facing one's fears, not having sorrow, not having anxiety, not having apprehensions, but remember Bhagwan, and Bhagwan will protect. Bhagwan's protection is not that the person will not die. In this context, yes, he made Mrityunjay, he made Markandeya immortal. And he said, you will be there, and not only immortal. Some of the Puranas, they say he gave him the boon to be immortal and be 16 years only forever. So he is forever 16. Some places it will be said, yes, he is immortal, but he grows with age. But the point is not that. The point is take refuge of Bhagwan, and when refuge of Bhagwan is taken, that is the way to get out of karma. How to get out of karma? Get out of ego. How to get out of ego? Surrender to Bhagwan. Bhakti bhav, when we have, we do complete surrender to Bhagwan, and that surrender will bless one with knowledge. Bhagwan will bless one with knowledge, and one will realize absolute oneness. So when this has happened, Yamraj has been kicked out. Markandeya was blessed with immortality. The composition that he has done, 8 main verses, and then there are some more. In that, every line will end with, in the Ashtakam, each line will end with uh, Chandrashekhara Mashraye Mama Kim Karishyati Vai Yamaha. That I take refuge of Chandrashekhara, what will Yama do to me? So, in remembrance of Bhagwan Shiva, he is already fearless. Then what will Yama do to me? He is not clinging in fear, saying, Ore Bhagwan, protect me from fear. Yamraj, I don't want to die. Okay, let Yamraj come. I am under refuge of Bhagwan Shiva. What will Yamraj do to me? This is the basic background. So for today, we will meditate on this aspect of facing the fear. And so I'm sharing here one image, which is what we will use through the next few days to remember Bhagwan and to visualize and then to invoke our surrender. I have chosen this one, we generated it. There are different other forms that you will see where the depiction is Markandeya holding the Shivalinga and Bhagwan coming out in anger and kicking Yamraj. And so I chose this because it's more Saumya Roop, and the surrender aspect is what we want to focus upon. Hence, this is the form that we have chosen. Sit quietly, sit erect, the head, the neck, and the spine in a straight line. Close your eyes gently. Relax your shoulders. Let your hands be in your lap or on your thighs. palms facing the sky. Come to a comfortable posture without any strain in any part of the body. Invoke gratitude in your heart. Thank Bhagwan for all the blessings you have in life. Our mind can focus on what is not there and feel insecure, feel inadequate, or it can focus on what we already have, count the blessings, feel grateful, and aspire out of inspiration. Thank Bhagwan for any three blessings in your life that you feel are very, very important. And fill your heart with gratitude. This is the first step, posture and preparation. Second step, auto-suggestion. Suggest to the mind that for the next 15 minutes I am steady and still without any movement. A still body is very important for a still mind. I am steady and still without any movement. Second auto-suggestion, tell your mind with all your willpower, I am alert, awake, and quiet. I am alert, awake, and quiet. Generally, when the mind becomes quiet, we go to sleep. This is to decondition ourselves by saying, I am alert, awake, and quiet. One has to bring oneself to this state of alertness, not just repeat the words. Third auto-suggestion, I am only a devotee and a seeker for the next 15 minutes. I am only a devotee and a seeker for the next 15 minutes. Third step, relaxation of the body. As I say she, you can take a deep breath Slow, steady, and deep breath. Hold it for a short while if you like. If you have any BP or health issues, then don't hold. When I say verb, exhale slowly and let go of any stress or strain in the body and the mind. So she for deep inhalation, va for complete exhalation and relaxation. Exhale all the air. She va. She va. She va. She va. She va. Continue to breathe at your own pace, slow, steady, and deep. And be aware of each and every breath as you take in and leave out. This is the fourth step, breath observation. Observe the movement of the breath as it enters through the nose, down the windpipe, into the lungs, how the chest moves up, diaphragm goes down, stomach bulges out, and the reverse process as you exhale. Through mere breath observation, we can make the mind steady, like the mind on the jata of the moon on the jata of Bhagavan Shiva. Fifth step, in the space between the two eyebrows or in your heart, visualize a circle of white light which is pure and divine, radiant and shining. Invoke the auspicious form of your Guru. If you have a Sadguru, invoke the form of your Sadguru, whoever he or she may be, or invoke the form of Bhagwan Shiva. He is the Adi Guru. Feel that you are in front of your Sadguru. With both your hands, you are at their feet. Seeking their grace and blessings to make our mind quiet, to contemplate steadily, to become fearless. With all devotion, one chants, Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Offer some flowers at the feet of the Sadguru or Bhagwan. Prostrate. Touch the feet of the Sadguru with both your hands. Bow down the head at the feet of the Sadguru. Seek the grace and guidance of the Sadguru. This was the fifth step, invocation. Now repose the form of the Sadguru back into your heart. Let the form merge away in light and invoke the auspicious form of Bhagwan Shiva, who has a long jata. On the jata is the crescent moon on the right side. Mother Ganga flows from the jata. The jata is symbolic of tapasya. Gangaji is symbol of Jnana, Bhakti and Seva. Moon is symbolic of a steady contemplative mind. Bhagavan has held the jata with Rudraksha Mala. There is Bhasma, Tripundra on the forehead of Bhagavan, 3 lines. There is a third eye on the forehead which is closed. The other 2 eyes are lovingly looking at us. There is a gentle smile on the face of Bhagavan. There are earrings in his earlobes. His neck is blue in color. There is a Vasuki snake around his neck. There are Rudrakshamalas on his chest, on his arms, on his wrist. Bhagwan has worn tiger skin across his chest. There is a Trishul in his left hand. Now imagine you are in place of Markandeya, holding the Shivalinga, and Bhagwan's right hand is on your head. And you are lovingly remembering Bhagwan. Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara pahi mam. Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara pahi mam. Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara rakshamam. Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara rakshamam. Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara pahi mam. Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara, Chandrashekhara rakshamam. Hey Bhagavan Chandrashekhara, I take refuge in you. Please protect me. I'm in your protective care. Please help me to face all my fears. Give me the strength to face and overcome the fears. Help me to identify one fear that I will face in this month and attempt to overcome it. And hey Chandrashekhara, please protect me. Protect me from my own ego, my own resistance, attachments, denial mode, and help me to become fearless. May my devotion for you grow. And may it destroy all my fears and grant me the state of auspiciousness. Offer some flowers to Bhagwan. Offer on the Shivalinga. Offer some milk. Pour some water. Apply some bhasma on the Shivalinga. Chandan and kumkum. And offer a garland to Bhagwan. Perform a pradakshina of Bhagwan and come back and prostrate in front of Bhagwan. Feel the hand of Bhagwan on your head once again. Thank Bhagwan and repose the form back into your heart. Be aware of your breath. Be aware of your body. Be aware of the happenings around you. We pray for the well-being of the whole universe. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramayah. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya. Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. Gently rub your palms, place them on the face, and open your eyes. Apologies for the delay today. We have extended our time. Tomorrow we will try to complete it by 7:45. If there are any questions, you are welcome to raise the hand and we will try and answer. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.